Hey guys, welcome to another session of RBTL. This is the June 12th, as you can see, June 12th patch update. So we got episode 2, Godkiller now. We're going to kind of go through this because a lot of this stuff is shared in the dev notes. So I'm only going to be, talking about topics that I think are like quite relevant or quite important that I can expand upon. Otherwise, you guys can do your own reading. You guys probably read better than me anyway. First things first is the splash screen is now, it's changed to Godkiller. When I first saw this, I thought it wasn't, I kind of felt weird about it. I kind of get it. Like if you're watching like Netflix or something and it's season 2, you have like a new, kind of like a new thumbnail, before you click on the show. But for the game to actually change it along with the episodes, it made me feel like kind of sad at the same time, because then they're really going to, it feels like the game is going to end. The 10-year plan, the story ends in 10 years. Like, is the game gonna like really end? It feels kind of sad, even though I mentioned in the dev notes video, like, are you really gonna be playing for 10 years? 10 flipping years, man. I don't know what that's gonna be like, but still, it made me kind of sad. So I'm gonna definitely miss the intro screen, I guess, for episode 1. I kind of wish that they didn't change it. Yeah, I don't mind it. I like the green sky and whatnot, but now this kind of looks like very grim. That's the word. Yeah. So, Sidonia, Rotted Earth. So this is expanded upon. Apparently we won't get like all of the areas unlocked yet. It makes sense for a game like this. So it's gonna probably be released like maybe, I think they were saying that once per month, like a new story like chapter is released. So chapter 1, as you can see here, not gonna talk about this too much. Chapter 2, and then we have based on this image, we have chapter 2S, so secret. So I mean, it's enough. That's what, 30 stages on average. It's about 30 stages there, so that's pretty good, and I'm pretty sure we'll be able to grind it pretty quick. There's new stuff to grind. Of course, you can see some new NPCs. We talked about this in the dev notes, but this is more detailed, so we kind of get the fuller picture. The Merchant Guild AP exchange. So now the AP exchange for this is only unlocked after you complete these kind of I would call like specialty change like missions. They're pretty much the same as specialty change, to be honest, like a different mixed bag of like objectives you have to do. So you can see here, eliminate 100 monsters, give 500 sigma. Haha, that's pretty easy. Give some catalysts, and then get some adventure points. And then once you unlock the shop, I believe it's fully unlocked. As you can see though, just like this promised in the dev notes, we do get different stuff. Apparently now you can get Breath of Orbis this way, which arguably is a lot more grindy than it was before. But I mean, I guess it's it's a way for us not to get bored of it too quick. Like you just finish it and you're just like, okay, I'm done. What do I do now? But instead of grinding for epic catalyst, you would grind for the weapon or the equipment that's given per stage, and then given Breath of Orbis or anything else special that may come in the future. We don't know. But from the looks of it, at least for Jordan Borderlands and Crimson City Meldrick, you get Breath of Orbis, you get a spear, and then you get a ring in the second chapter, or second chapter, yeah. So here are the stats on it. I mean, it's pretty good. Level 71, epic weapon, so you have a higher chance to roll higher substats, which is always good, always welcome. Of course, now with equipment that's like T88, especially coming, I'm pretty sure in the next couple weeks, like, are these gonna be still really good? If you roll like absolutely insane substats on them, let's say for the ring you roll like crit chance, crit damage, and maybe speed and not health, because it's an attacking set with an attack main stat. Most likely you want like speed, crit chance, and crit damage. I would say probably more emphasis on the crit chance and crit damage part, but you know, anything really works. I mean, just don't give health in that one. Let's say if you roll like insane substats on this, you know, a T88 might not be a direct replacement, even with a higher main stat of a 65% attack. I believe that's a T88 ring would be a 65% attack. But if you don't get the substats for it, it's really bad. So anyways, continuing on this theme of giving us these in-game gear, like technically free, because you can just, you know, grind it and you'll get them. The substats are all awesome. All really good. I would say like the epic weapon here, the ancient Chandran warrior spear. Attack speed and critical hit chance are the most ideal substats there. But I'll tell you right now, like if I'm rolling this, I'm always gonna roll the health and all of them. I just recently rolled that what is it called, the new adventure quest or something. I rolled that ring and it's like all defense and health. It's like feels bad, man. There's speed and crit chance in that, but it's like no speed and crit chance went into those substat rolls, just health and defense. Feels bad. Reputations, new reputations have been added, just keep that in mind. So 2 in Conclave and 1 in Merchants Union. Now I don't know what the prizes or the rewards are for that. It doesn't say it here, but that's cool. Anyways, we get into the new heroes. New 4-star hero now, as promised. There's going to be new 4-star and 3-star heroes added with episode 2 released. There's no talk about the 3-star heroes released here, but I suppose because it's less rare. Oh, sorry, they're less rare. They probably won't talk about them. I don't know. Hopefully they would, because it'd be interesting just to talk about their kits and whatnot. Because there's a lot of 3-star heroes that are usable in PvE and even sometimes in PvP in the current, like in episode 1. So it would be really nice to see what kind of kits we get for episode 2 3-star heroes. But judging by this, we can only assume that the 4-star hero has been added and only one of them. Alright? So I guess they'll be releasing it slowly in waves. Looking at the skills here, the S2 kind of stood out for me, but we're going to kind of take a look at this. 10 souls consumed on the S1 is 100% chance to burn. Now there's only one burn, as in one tick of burn, but for 2 turns. Alright? That doesn't seem to be really good unless the S1's like damage modifier is really good. I don't think the 1 burn is anything, you know, is that good. He is a warrior though, so if you wanted to get like more burns on him, maybe you use that free artifact Junkyard Dog. But I highly doubt that you would use that artifact, since it's only a 50% chance to burn at a max enhanced artifact. So, you know, what kind of artifact would you go on him? I think you'd probably work with something like Uberius's Tooth. Something with more damage, because it seems that you're going to be building him just straight for damage dealer. His S2 passive, it dispels all debuffs if he's attacked while debuffed. Alright, so he has to be debuffed first, and then if he's attacked while debuffed, then he removes it. Now, my question is, does that mean he has to wait for the second hit after being debuffed? Or would something like, you know, if a hero, or let's say if you're using him for PvP, if a hero does the damage, like, or sorry, does the dispel first and then the damage, which we have heroes that have flipped, so you have to be careful of that too, because some heroes do the debuffs first and then the damage. Some people do the damage and then the debuff. So we gotta kind of be careful of that. But my question is, if he gets debuffed first and then attacked on the same attack skill, does he dispel it right away? So is that kind of like F Maya? That'd be kind of cool. The only thing is, you can notice that this is not as broken as Fighter Maya's passive, since it can only be activated once every, at the lowest, 2 turns, as you can see here. So obviously Malagora will change the turn count, but only 2 turns. So if you have a dual stacked, let's say you go with oh shit, I'm thinking right now, let's say if I bring him to PvP and ML Ball goes and ML Dizzy, and then Dizzy goes, I don't think he loses the debuffs, because the hit initially from Dizzy will wake him up from the sleep, so he would still be debuffed at the end of Dizzy's turn. So I don't know how that works really. Debuff always comes after the damage. Debuff always comes after the damage. Really? Are you sure about that? I'm pretty sure there are instances where the debuff comes first. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't think of off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it was. That's why it was in my mind. But I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Aline was the one that pointed it out. Burning Vitality. Oh yeah, so yeah, there's another aspect to it. Burning Vitality is activated though, with the Despell. So on the turn that he actually Despells, in the condition he actually Despells, he gets Burning Vitality. Increases attack for the caster for 2 turns. You can speculate that this could be as strong as Vigor. Now, so Fire Ken's Vigor. So Vigor gives you a 30% attack and defense increase, stackable with attack and defense buffs. Now, it's assuming that at least a 30% buff. It's not too broken here because he doesn't get the defense side for Fire Ken. For 2 turns though, too. So it's a lot less than Vigor as well. So I mean, it really does make him 4-star. So whether or not he becomes really strong, let's see. Actually, what star sign is Scorpio Warrior? Scorpio Warrior. Not quite sure on the base stats on that. I should have looked that up before, but definitely, I think he's gonna be built just as a damage dealer. No real need for effect resistance since his passive is there. Ideally, you would want to get his debuff dispelled, and he'd be able to do some crazy attack because he self buffs, he gets burns, so pretty much like stack his attack, crit rate, and crit damage with effectiveness. I think on the side again, depending on his damage mods, and then the active. So the S3 lowest his skill cooldown is 3 turns. Attacks with Fire Explosion, making the target unhealable for 2 turns. So by the reading of this is another single target. Yeah, and it does depend on the damage mods, but overall it doesn't look too broken. As you can see, he is also a connection hero, so you can grind for him to get him. But at this point, I mean, it's not like extremely hard, so I'm like why not get him? The only thing is, I think this is kind of funny. Give 10 proof of courage. So if people are grinding for this, at least there's gonna be a while for your guild to get one of those catalyst those proof of courage chests, because I think people are gonna be saving 10 of these for this guy. But it's not bad. I mean, it's not bad. He's not a bad hero. I would just probably get him. Actually, does it say his imprint? It's health percent imprint, huh? Interesting. It could be good, but because he's not a 5-star, I'm assuming this is not all four unit slots. I'm pretty sure it's like either 1 or 2 probably for 4-star. Yeah, but yeah, everything else is not that hard. It's just kind of grindy, but nothing like some other exchanges like Yuna's exchange was harsh, but because it's just a 5-star though, so that's another thing. So yeah, we got a new Moonlight hero, Fallen Cecilia. So recommended videos, YD. So Fallen Cecilia video, if you haven't watched this, I'm not going to be playing this on the RBTL, but if you haven't watched this, definitely watch it. I would have to say though that their video doesn't do her justice. There are 2 scenarios where they kind of use her. It's kind of like they're showing the skills and how to use her, and it doesn't really showcase it. So just one example, again, you guys should watch this video. Just one example is that she does her S3 on Wyvern 11 right before he is about to do his barrier bomb, barrier AoE strike, and the skill nullifier doesn't really work for that apparently. So I mean, that's lesson learned. But they put up the skill nullifier. Wyvern does his AoE bomb, and apparently it's a 2-hit from it, because the skill nullifier doesn't do anything. The skill nullifier gets removed on his initial hit, but the aftermath explosion still damage all your heroes. But the narrator of the video is saying that it really gives you survivability or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, I can't remember what he said exactly. It's like it really gives you some good survivability, and I'm like, no, it doesn't. Not in that instance. So I did an early theorycraft video on Fallen Cecilia, on what I think her build should be. Now obviously, it depends if I get her or not, and I keep that in mind. I have no ML 5-star up to this point of this recording. hopefully she'll be my first, but you know, it doesn't matter if you get her. I think she's good. I think she's really good. And if you don't get her because she's good, she's cool. She's absolutely looking cool. She's got a dragon tail, so there's that, and that awesome spear, right? What? Her sprite looks like she got punched in the eye because of the left side, the right side, because of those crystal things coming out of her head. We all hope she will be our first. Yeah, Ricklington, yeah. Oh man, Arlene sucks, man. Arlene's like, I need to complete my dragon collection just so I can keep telling Dragon, just use your feed, man. Just use Cecilia, man. Feels bad. Alright, yeah, so I'm not gonna go into too much detail on this skill because we went in depth with it on that video. So if you haven't checked that out, it was just like a Fallen Cecilia, like early theory crafting video. So we took a look at her in the Heroes Journal. She was released for a week from now. By now, I mean. For a week now, so I mean most of us should know this, so I'm not going to talk about this too much. So side story, unrecorded history. So apparently, so the world difficulty now for episode 1 is moved now to the unrecorded history, which kind of makes sense. If you played the world difficulty for the first time, you use Vagabond Raz, and he kind of carries you on through this kind of like this history, like sorry, this story that didn't really feel too connected, I think, but apparently they wanted to make this its own thing. So I think that the world difficulty for everything going forward will be added to the unrecorded history. Now, there is no talk on you know, what you can get from it, I think, but there is talk about the AP points being exchanged over. So I do believe that the epic catalysts are grindable now only in the unrecorded history. All right, so something to keep in mind. It was mentioned above in the notes that the epic catalysts are now removed from the regular adventure. So the regular story is removed. So you can only grind for regular catalysts, and then now with the new items and Breath of Orbis in episode 2, you can grind for that. But now you will never be able to grind the epic catalyst. So, judging from the dev notes combined with this, I do believe that it's safe to assume that the epic catalysts are grindable only in the unrecorded history. So the AP points earned in the adventure mode, so from on this point before the maintenance, okay, before the patch, in Retinia will be separate from the AP points that can be used in the side story. Okay, so you can't share them because now after this feature, all the AP points you grind in adventure mode, you can't use them for the unrecorded history, so just keep that in mind. And then now the AP points received in adventure mode in Retinia will be transferred to the side story unrecorded history. So all the AP points you have currently will now be shifted over. Now, what's the point of shifting it over if there's nothing there to exchange? So it has to be the epic catalyst shown in the dev notes from the screenshots. That's safe to assume. After this transfer, the AP displayed in adventure mode Retinia will be reset to 0. So now, after this patch, when you go to Retinia in the adventure mode, you will see 0 and you have to regrind them. It makes sense because now you want to be able to grind them for the new stuff, for the weapons, for the gear, for the Breath of Orbis, right? So the AP exchange located in Retinia will no longer sell epic catalysts after this update. So the AP exchange in Retinia, keep that in mind. So no more epic catalysts in this update. So epic catalysts are shifted over to the unrecorded history. So that settles that. Now there's reputations added to this side story, which is all, I think they're all epic catalysts by the reading of this. Yeah, I think they are. So I think every single one of the epic catalysts, you can get one of them, right, as a reward for completing these. So whatever they are, you just complete them and then you'll get them, right? It's cool. Aline asked still, what's up with the epic catalyst? Do we spend or not? So if there's an epic catalyst in, I do believe, because unrecorded history, I believe it's going to take like the exact kind of world map. So the world difficulty map is now just going to shift to there. So instead of like swapping between like world and normal mode, it's just going to shift there. So all of the, I believe all of the AP, so let's say if you have AP points at chapter 10, I believe when you shift it over to unrecorded history in chapter 10, you have the same amount of AP points from previous, like before the patch. I believe that's how it works. So you don't need to spend it based on the dev notes and even how it read. If my reading wasn't mistaken, and we talked about this on that live stream, you can buy it before the patch, because that's what they said. They said you can buy it this way if you want, but it wouldn't be moved over. So I don't think you should be really worried about it. I'm not going to be worried about it. I'm still farming for a 1 black cursed powder. Cursed black cursed powder, there you go. Black cursed powder, and I don't think I'm going to make it in time. Because I gotta go to work and stuff. Anyways, see here, yeah, players' progress from Britannia world difficulty transferred to the side story unrecorded history. So yeah, you can see that this is obvious that the world difficulty now will be translated 1 for 1 into the unrecorded history. So any progress, as in like if you have stages uncleared, you will now be able to access the unrecorded history and unlock it that way. All right, so that's leading me to assume that the AP points are going to be transferred one for one to the world difficulty, to the unrecorded history from the world difficulty you are at currently. I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to work. Let's see here. New things added. I don't need to look at this too much. I think this is that's okay. Account level is improved. So account level up to max level 65 now. So 65 after this patch. So I think, you know, if people are going to be grinding what they're grinding, they're going to get to 65 naturally anyway. No point like actually rushing to 65. Just grind the game, you're going to get there. Now what's interesting is now shop level 11 and 12 are unlocked by the time of 60. So after this patch, apparently if you just spend this amount of gold, so 240,000, 270,000 gold, you'll be able to already get level 12. Now level 13 is only unlocked after level 65 though, so that's gonna probably take some people just a bit of time. Now it does depend on how difficult it is to get level 65, but I'm pretty sure probably one to 3 days for most people like heavy grinders. New sets are added in this patch too. I'm not too excited about it, but yeah, I guess just throw it in there, so you don't always have to do the hunts for these. But yeah. Increased, so shop level 10 increased percent of getting a level 55 equipment up to 85%. To me, this doesn't matter, you know, this doesn't really matter. Once you get close, I mean, it takes you about a month to get near end game level, and once you're at end game level, you're not really looking for the 55. So I think they're just increasing the amount just to make the shop look a bit better. So like if you're a level like rank 60, you know, it's kind of crappy to go into your shop and see like all this like level 27 gear, you know. But I don't think that's even it's even possible. But anyways, increase in this, but no increase in like, no talk about impossible T88 gear, which is what I was really looking for. T88 gear or an increase in anything like a T70 to T85. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe in the future. This is a very nice improvement. I love this. They're always increasing or enhancing their UI. The user interface and their user experience is really good. I made that in my top 10 reasons to play Epic 7, and they keep on, you know, surprising me. I definitely think that they're addressing a lot of issues that we had, generally like flow issues. So being able to see the stuff, like unless you have like a fingernail of, I don't know, like a pin-sized fingernail, you're not always consistently getting the so for those of you who didn't know, maybe you didn't even know this, when you had the skills before laid on the left side, seeing like what the skill does, like so like 5% damage, 5% damage, 5% damage, 5% effect chance, you can hold and actually hold down on the text relevant to that skill, and a pop-up overlay will show like what necessary resources are needed for that skill enhancement. I'm pretty sure they realized that wasn't really a viable option. Now on an emulator, you know, when I'm streaming and whatnot, it's really easy because I have a mouse click, right? But now you can see this these skills like laid out right there. So all the gold, all the catalyst, and all the Molagora exchange needed. What are you guys saying? Look at all those ML 5 stars, Jagan. Most wow. Yeah, you're right. Wow. This is the average player. The average player has about three ML 5 stars, man. I got 0. Feels bad, man. It is just making fun of me. Most ML 5 stars you have on stream, feels bad, man. Another thing I love this is instead of going to the shop, you can just exchange it here. Totally makes sense. Like why do you have to go to the shop? This is a contextual kind of type of design, which I love, but that's maybe you don't really care about this stuff, but as a UI designer, I really love this stuff. Bugs and fixes. I'm gonna talk about some stuff that I felt that was kind of interesting. This is interesting though. The bookmark bundle that you can get in the shop. So the 950 Skystones bundle, instead of 3 1-star penguins, you get 400 stigma. I believe that's a better. I think that's a better, right? Penguins cost what, like 112 stigma to get, like to summon. It's way better, right? Yeah, it is. It is. So okay. I just wanted to confirm because I when I read it, I'm like, oh, that's way better. But I wanted to double check. 400 stigma. I believe it is 112 per penguin, like directly summoned. And if your Force of Souls is actually like enhanced, you have a chance of actually summoning like a 2-star and even a 3-star penguin. So it means more gold if you're going to use them for gold, and of course more experience if you're going to use them for enhancement. So that's pretty good. And then, yeah, and then Alina was saying that, yeah, it doesn't clog up your inventory. I do believe that. I think that's probably the biggest change, like the biggest reason they did this is because of the clogging up the inventory. They are, like, Smilegate is obviously trying to give us ease of access to pulling and hamming, right? I talked about this before when they had that storage box thing, that temporary storage box. So when you're pulling for stuff, anything extra beyond your box gets stored in this thing and you could deal with it later. I do believe like they're trying to make it easier for us to pull, so people can rage more swiftly without being stopped. I mentioned this before that in the past, if something like that stopped me, I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe I do use too much bookmarks, I'll pull back a bit. But they're really removing every single thing that would stop you from actually pulling, which is good design, but evil plan. They also increased energy to gain daily to 100. Did they? It's not just for the event. Oh, they did. Yeah, they did. Yeah, right. So it's right here. Nice. You get 100 energy instead of 80. Wow, very good stuff. Very good for Smilegate to do this, and I believe this is permanent. So this is not gonna be like event driven. Yeah, and it tells us the date of where you are, which server, and then how many energy you get. Oh, it's interesting. I never knew that. Korea and Asia have a breakdown of a 50 energy. I would like that too, because sometimes you get 100 energy. I mean, I guess you could run like 5 hunts and then you pretty much use them. But let's say like sometimes you don't have the chance to like grind 100 energy right away. Maybe it's like right before your bedtime or something. You want to collect it. I don't know. I would kind of like the 50 energy thing, or just give it as in two pieces of 50 energies on the same time. I don't mind that. I kind of like the breakdown aspect because you can access energy pretty easily, like at the main lobby of your hunt, at the main lobby of your adventure, whatever. You can access the mailbox quite easily. I think one thing that they should add, to be honest, is to be able to use energy at the end of your run. So like if you're out of energy and you prompt that things like, oh, you're out of energy, would you purchase it with like Skystone Relief? I believe they should add the option of using energy. Do they have that? Did they have that? I don't think so. It's UTCJ and they're probably asleep when we get it on global. No, I get it, but they still have a breakdown of 50 energy. It's not like when you get it, you have to use it right away. It's in your mailbox. So to me, sleeping or not doesn't matter. I don't know. Maybe that's just my thinking. I just think that a 50-50 breakdown would be nice. But yeah. Yeah, you don't get it, right? Oh, you don't get it if you're not in game? What? Oh, I had no idea. So you have to be in game for you to get it? Even if you're like, okay, this is something new for me. I guess I'm always online then. If you're not online, you don't get it. Okay, well that changes everything. What defines as online? So let's say if I'm logged in, my phone is off. Do I not get it? Basila says I didn't know that either. Sorry, Basila, I'm dragging you down with me. Being in game at the time. So my phone would have to be on. Is that? Ice says this is news to me. Okay, so this might be news to people then. I don't know. I had no idea. I swear. Are you serious? Oh, you have to be inside the game within the time? Okay. So this isn't okay. So as long as you're in it, you'll get it, correct? So let's say it's 1. It's 1 global time, UTC. It's 1. As long as you're in it, you get it? I see. Oh my goodness, I had no idea. Well, this is funny. This is recorded on video. So, you know, for those of you, thanks Aline for that. So for those of you watching this video, you didn't know that. Definitely, now that's a very important. Wow. Okay, well I gotta keep in mind that I actually log into game, like especially on weekends. Like sometimes I'm running errands and stuff. Maybe I don't come into game. Okay, actually, wait, doesn't answer my question. If I'm logged in on mobile, but I just have my screen turned off, does that count as me being in the game or not? Alright, and I'll let you answer that as I continue on. Oh wow, that's mind-boggling. That's mind-blowing. It's like, what? What? That's hilarious. Let's see here. Some improvements. I'm not gonna talk about this. This is good. I've always wanted this. Specialty menu, change the skill enhance in this thing, which is really nice. I always like this contextual thing. I always hated going into hero on the bottom left, going to hero and then going to skill enhance and then scroll to the hero you actually want to look at, which is a lot harder, but it's actually much nicer doing it this way. So you get contextual information. I think one thing they really do have to add though is they'll be able to access the skill enhanced like menu based on your actual hero, like regular hero menu. That would be really nice, like some button that you can just access it instead of having them separate. I kind of get the original design of it. Like I think they were just I don't know, maybe they were fearful, but you can access enhancement, you can access your imprints, you can access your promotions all in the same. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? I'm not there's no example here I can see that I can use as an example, but this is oh wait, not this one. Nope, there's no example. Feels bad, man. You guys know what I'm talking about. So when you're in the hero, yeah, you can access multiple things. It would be interesting to have like a button there that says skill enhance, because I really think it's not a really nice flow to be able to actually yeah, like I said, you have to go to hero and then go to skill enhance. But now this is added to this this menu, this contextual menu when you click the heroes in your lobby. It fixes some of the issues for me, but it definitely not all of them, obviously, because let's say you want to skill enhance a hero that's not in your party, you still have to go through that weird, long way of getting to them. But yeah. Aline says, I just know my ult is not receiving that stamina if I'm not online at the same time frame. I see, interesting. I'm curious about that, but I'm not too eager to test it out. So I'm not eager to test out my mobile phone being off, but my game being logged in. Will I get the energy or not? Because 100 energy is 100 energy, man. I want my energy. But now with that, with you actually telling me that, I gotta set alarms. So on the weekend, I'll be able to do that. Oh, so improvement has been made so you can view how many of the current skill distribution of the material. So energy, you can see the 68 owned. Before you wouldn't be able to see that, which is kind of nice. Anyways, lots of little changes, but I think obviously the big changes is that new hero. So ML Cecilia coming. I'll be pulling for her when she's released. I'll be streaming that too, and then obviously recording that on video. So if you guys are watching this on YouTube later, you can't catch the live stream, definitely check that out. So anyways, I'm pretty sure everybody will be going for ML Cecilia, so I'm not going to be asking if you guys are going to be doing it, but main thing I think is going to be episode 2. So a lot of good stuff coming, a lot of stuff missing from the dev notes that are not in this patch, so we can assume that will probably be here maybe the next week or the week after, something like that. Anyways, I'm going to end this one here. So if you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server. Follow me on Twitter and subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.